you think you see her face in the crowd. Now she's gone, no way of ever knowing. Don't cry for me, don't cry. Here's what she'd say. Don't cry for me, don't cry. Shopping in the hall, only empty spaces. Brand new kitchens, black and white. I feel the house is dying, and I'm inside. Now she's gone, no way of ever knowing. Don't cry for me, don't cry. Here's what she said. Don't cry for me, don't Every time I think of you, I just break down. I miss you more than I ever could Here's what she'd say. She said, don't cry. Don't cry for me, don't cry. Here's what she'd say. Don't cry for me, don't cry. Oh no, don't cry for me, don't cry. She said, don't
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live stream Tuesday. I hope you guys had a good start to your week and that your Monday went well, if that's at all possible. So tonight's live stream has started interestingly because the cover video vote, which tonight would have been between Miles Away and Behind Blue Eyes, that's deciding not to work. I don't know what's going on in that live chat room. And I tried to post it. I actually started trying to do the poll and get it in the live chat room at about 11:15. So I've probably done about 6 or 7 times, and I thought, well, maybe it's now changed so that you can only do it when you go live. So then I waited to go live, tried it again, didn't work, and I just tried it again just before the end of that video, and it's still not working. So yeah, for the first time in ages, there's going to be no cover vote tonight. And if people are saying in the live chat room to add the cover vote, I literally can't do that. It's not going to be possible. So maybe everyone who's in the live chat room now can explain to the people if they do come along and say, oh Phil, you've forgotten to do this. It's not possible. I haven't forgotten to do that. And I do sometimes get people messaging saying, oh, you've forgotten to do this thing or forgotten to do that thing, but it's more often than not, literally just me not having the time to do it yet. So I was probably about to do it as soon as those messages come through. But yeah, no cover vote for tonight. As for whichever one we'll choose, yeah, we'll have to do something random. Is there a coin? Oh, I do actually have a coin here that I can maybe flip a little bit later on. So we can do a heads or tails for tonight's cover video and see what it lands on. So let's now... The problem as well with YouTube is that everything moves around. As soon as something loads or another thing loads, it moves the screen a little bit. So when you're doing screen capturing, as I do for the likeometer, it just means that likes total is constantly moving around. So I've got to keep on trying to keep it in shot. But anyway, let's get the names of my patrons up on screen because they make this all possible in the first place. A massive thank you to you guys. You know who you are. And their names go across the bottom of the screen throughout the live streams on a Tuesday and a Saturday, as long-time viewers will know. Right, let's now get the likes goal up on screen. It's going to be 340. That's what we're aiming for tonight. So if you could leave a thumbs up as you come through the door, that would be very much appreciated. And if we do indeed hit that target of 340, it means that we're then going to be having Phil Jam number 303, which I think is correct. And the other thing that I was doing just before the live stream was recharging my laptop, which I have here for the backing track, because it had like 5% left on it. And I realised that would be a bit annoying if we actually reach the likes goal and then we try to start the computer and it doesn't start. So I did recharge it a bit, and I'm going to check where it's charged to. Oh, 75%. So that's pretty good. That'll last for quite a few hours. Right, now I will get the likeometer up on screen if it's not moving around too much, so we can see that we are currently at 172 likes. So thank you everyone for hitting the thumbs up so far. And I always say that when we get close to 200 to start a live stream is a pretty good start. And it means we're looking for, another 164? That could be wrong, but that's just what my brain told me to say. So whatever the total is, right? 180. So that'll be 160, I think. So I might have actually got the right figure before. Who knows? But yeah, if you could hit the thumbs up, that would be great. And we'll see whether we have a jam at the end of the live stream tonight. There's only one more thing that I need to get up on screen, and that is the donations tab that lets everybody know percentage of donations, but you don't have to donate. You don't have to donate for anything on the channel. So just watching is great, and maybe leaving a thumbs up and commenting and just interacting in a way, or in any way really, with the channel is good as well. And I think that maybe that's what some people don't understand, where there might be a few trolls who will leave. I mean, one particular troll had left, or has left, their history on the channel is over 100 comments. But because I don't remove any comments from the comments section, even though there was another person that I actually made a video on who said, there might be a troll corner later, but they said, this, Phil deletes comments in his comments section. Just you wait and see. This comment will disappear. And then they waited 8 hours. And then they removed their own comment to try and prove themselves correct. So, yeah, I think they've got way too much time on their hands. It's like they're at home planning this master plan of thinking, everyone's going to see my comment saying that he removes comments in his comments section, and then 8 hours later I'm going to remove it myself, so then everyone will think that I'm right. So anyway, yeah, the reason that this particular troll has had over 100 comments is because, I just kind of leave them there, and they can do what they want, because I don't think they realise that even commenting with a troll type comment helps the algorithm or pushes the videos out there a little bit more because of the interaction. Even when it's negative interaction, it seems all to be fine on YouTube, and that very much is the case for videos that are, I guess, more controversial and political. Those kinds of videos do get millions and millions and millions of views because they are controversial, because people have different opinions and they pretty much go for it in the comments section, arguing, and those arguments just push the algorithm so that it thinks, oh wow, there's been this amount of comments on this particular video, and it doesn't really matter whether they're good or bad or arguing. They then start to push the videos out there even more, so anything that's controversial will get out there quite a lot. So yeah, always interesting to see what's going on in the comments section. We will have a troll corner later, if I can remember. There's definitely one that I remember, but I'll have to see if I can remember any others. But yeah, we'll jump into that a little bit later on. So we've got everything up on screen, which is, I always feel like I've forgotten to do something, but I think we're okay. Now the likeometer is going to disappear for a second, because we can just see, well, in the likeometer now we can see the end of Tortoro Porco's donation message that's with there. But I will get to that first one that was sent through from Sue, so thank you for this, Sue. And it was a donation of $9.99, and the message is, hi Phil and chat, catch up crew, for me tonight, have a great live stream. So thank you for that. And yeah, anybody else that's watching this in the future on catch up, every single thumbs up still really does help things to get out there. So thank you for that, Sue. And then it's Paul who's donated $5. Thank you for that, Paul. And it looks like that is a straight up donation, so thank you for that, Paul. No message there. And then Totoro Porco's message and donation of $5. Thank you for that. The message with that is, let me just skip this advert. The message says, I always think of this song when I think of Phil. It has a special place in my heart. So thank you for that. And that must have been the song that we opened up with, which was Don't Cry. And that particular video features my sister, and it's my sister's birthday tomorrow. So yeah, not that she'll be watching this, but yeah, happy birthday to my sister. And we'll be going over there and having a family gathering, and I believe it's going to be Chinese on the menu. We will see if the Chinese place where they live is open. That's something that we always forget to do. We think, oh yeah, we'll have Chinese, then we get together and try to ring the place, then it says, oh, it's open every day apart from this particular day. But I think maybe last time it was it Tuesday that they were closed? But there always seems to be just one day when the Chinese place closed. And I looked into it on the internet because I thought, why do they always close on that day? And there was a reason for it, a cultural reason. And I think it's because they work all of the other days and then they have that particular day off. But the other thing that is interesting for many reasons is the way that I know 3 Chinese places that take cash only. So this is, well, I was going to say that this is interesting for many reasons, because I did type into the internet, why do Chinese places take cash only? And I don't know whether it's the same in other countries, but when you deal in cash, it means that you can give somebody money, and if they don't tell the government they've made that amount of money, then you don't have to pay tax on it. Now, everything that I do is through computers. So, yeah, absolutely every penny goes through my online banking and everything. So, yeah, the tax, and I think I prefer it this way, that the government know exactly what's going on to the penny, and then I just pay the ridiculous amount of tax that is then given to me, the figure. But I'd much rather have it like that and just everything very clearly set out. Whereas, yeah, I don't deal in cash. It's not as if I can, do. I guess with teaching guitar, but back in the day, I taught on behalf of a shop, so it means that I couldn't kind of get away with anything then. But even when I was getting paid in cash, I'd still just put that into my bank account, which then HMRC then can double check if they want to that everything's gone through there. So anyway, yeah, getting back to the Chinese places, they take cash only. So I mean, it's a bit of a pain really, because you have to be carrying cash, and I don't really carry cash. I have to make a special trip to the cash point to make sure that I do get out cash. Or maybe I should just take out a lot for future Chinese orders. So yeah, when I typed it into Google, they gave the explanation that, some places use cash because of this, that or the other. But ultimately, it's because it can't be traced, and yeah, it's a very good way of avoiding paying tax. So there you go. And this is why everything's now turning digital. And I think coming up soon here in the UK, there's this movement by the government that is, I think it's something like Make Tax Digital, where everyone in the UK now has to have everything online. And I guess it makes sense if people are running their business and they're getting cash, and then the government will say, well, hang on, you've got no money in your business bank account coming in, but we saw that you were open for the last 6 months, and you've made £1.20 from your business, and we can see people coming in and coming out constantly. So yeah, it's a way of keeping track of everything, but now everything is digital. And I mean, I'm kind of going down a bit of an avenue here of now getting into where it's a bit annoying, because back in the day, when you wanted to park your car in a car park, you parked your car and then you got out your money, you put it in the machine, and you got a ticket. Whereas now, and not a parking ticket, I mean a ticket that you then display on your car, so it means that you don't get a parking ticket and a ridiculous fine, of which, yeah, I mentioned the superstore place, or the supermarket near me, where there's a £100 fine, which, yeah, unfortunately, I did get caught out with that, because, yeah, they suddenly said, oh, by the way, they didn't suddenly say, by the way, you now have to pay to park here. They didn't tell anybody. So they just made loads of money, because they put that on the sign that used to say that it's free parking, and you can stay there free for, I think it was 2 hours, and you have to be going to the store and all that kind of stuff. But then they changed that to now say that it's now you've got to pay. But of course, everyone walking past that, if you've been shopping there for years, you're not going to notice that. And they made sure that they didn't really have any big signs saying everyone you have to pay. So yeah, they probably made lots of money doing that. But anyway, yeah, back in the day, you used to put money in, got the ticket out, but now you go up to the ticket machine and it says download the app. What is all that about? It's like, well, no, I want to pay for parking here and I've got money in my hand. No, you can't do that anymore. You've got to download an app, you've got to put in the code for the location that you're in, and you've got to do so many different things that, more often than not, it doesn't work. But I guess this is how companies make their money, because they say, oh, you didn't buy a ticket. And the defense is, well, I was there for 3 hours trying to get the app to work and it didn't. So yeah, I know the technology is, moving forward, and for the most part is, causing innovation and the human race to progress. But with some things you think, yeah, it was better before. Because, well, I say that, but then if you think about it, not for the government, because the government don't want people to be paying for parking and not getting tickets. They want as many people to get tickets as possible, because then they make more money. So it does make sense in the end, I guess. Depends what side of yeah, what side of the fence you're on, whether you're, you know, on that government side or you're part of the public, who, yeah, is getting, unfortunately, a little bit misled. There seems to be a lot of that nowadays. So I think they should have a machine that is just for money, like the olden days, and another machine if you're really into apps and using your phone to pay for parking. If you love doing that, then you can do that on the other machine. But, you know, I tend to just go along with your 50 pence or your 30 pence. And I do have like little bits of change in my wallet. I don't carry lots of cash, but a little bit of change enough to pay for parking used to be absolutely fine. So anyway, there we go. That's all of that stuff out the way of the frustrations of parking. And yeah, it all stemmed from Chinese, from them only taking cash. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. But yeah, I wouldn't say I'm a big fan of Chinese, but I'm a big fan of Chinese every now and again, maybe a few times a year, because I don't know whether it depends what you have, but you can make it moderately healthy. I don't think it's quite as bad as, you know, eating a large pizza to yourself and stuff like that, or just going crazy at McDonald's. I think at Chinese you can just have some duck and pancakes and yeah, what else do they have? I guess the sweet and sour pork, that's like battered, so that's probably not as good. But you might be able to find stuff that is relatively healthy. So, now the other thing that I've noticed in the live chat room, for whatever reason, YouTube is going crazy with hiding comments, or not hiding comments, but holding them for review. So there's just one there. There's just another one that's come through, and there were just another two that I've seen. So yeah, I don't know why. There's another one that's now come through. Now another one's come through, and yeah, it's crazy the amount of comments that now. This isn't something that I'm doing on the channel, and it's definitely not something that the moderators are doing. It's YouTube deciding to hold comments for review, and I don't know how it decides which ones to hold. I don't know why it chooses to do that with particular comments. And I mean, this might be why some people say, oh, you're deleting my comment. It's nothing to do with me. It's YouTube that is seemingly, and this is the first time I've seen it, like time after time after time, just looking through the live chat room and having maybe 3 or 4 or 5 comments that are being held for review. So I'm sure that the moderators are trying to kind of allow as many as they can, but I don't know why YouTube is doing that, unless YouTube is, I don't know. I mean, it would be easy for them to, yeah, there we go, there's another one that's just been held for review. YouTube could be trying to, I don't know why they'd be trying to censor some of the comments, because the comments aren't bad. It's just normal stuff. Absolutely normal comments. There's not even a hint of something. Okay, there we go. That one, which was Deed3230, said, I love Chinese food. And that was held for review. What is all that about? So, yeah, YouTube has gone a bit weird tonight, because the cover vote isn't working, and it's holding for review loads of comments. There's another one that's just been allowed there. So, should I say, not allowed, but then allowed by the moderators to go through. So, yeah, the moderators have got their work cut out tonight, not even moderating the live chat room, just trying to allow people's comments to come through. The Emperor of Wyoming says, maybe YouTube is trying to nobble your channel. So, I mean, recently, I think, I don't know, when was it that we had the vocal coach video for Authentic Vocal? That was around Christmas time or beginning of the year. And yeah, the problem is, as soon as I mention anything about Authentic Vocal, everything starts getting, I don't know, it just cut off. And you might have noticed how sometimes with the videos and people watching them, we get maybe 1,000 subscribers a week, something like that. I mean, that is quite good going, but you might have seen how I think we're at 519,000 subscribers, which is amazing. But then as soon as I mentioned authentic vocal, we haven't moved on from 519,000. And yeah, I mean, it's a great amount of subscribers to have. It's a great number, but it's not that the views have suddenly disappeared. People are still watching the channel, but what happened before was people that were subscribing were then being unsubscribed like the next day, and they didn't notice. So YouTube kind of was, I don't know why it was doing, well, I kind of know why it was doing that because of what I do in my videos, but it was doing that, taking away people who were subscribing. So it's going to be really interesting to see how long it takes to get to 520,000 subscribers, considering that it stopped exactly the same last year when I started talking about authentic vocal. And by the way, that's my project to get transparency and honesty and all these different things in the music industry so people know what they're listening to. And the other thing is, I know that there's been loads of talk. I've only just seen it before the live stream started. I was sent a request to take a look at just one performance at the Super Bowl. I don't watch American football, but there was the Super Bowl thing that they have, and they have music performances there. And I've been asked to take a look at one of those, but from what I then was seeing, that there's maybe a controversy of somebody lip syncing or miming. And I saw a couple of videos where people were saying, oh, this artist lip synced at the halftime show, whatever it was, but they weren't providing any proof. And this is what I find a bit weird. Unless it's just a total mistake where the vocal started and the person isn't even singing. But it's really difficult, because if you make the statement that somebody's lip syncing or miming, but you're not proving it, it's just your opinion. You think, well, yeah, you shouldn't really be doing that. You've got to absolutely prove it. And yeah, I'll have to maybe do a video in the future, but there's this one request that I've received that isn't to do with the kind of the lip syncing or miming controversy. And with that controversy, I think the artist has come out and almost defended the performance. So I do understand the reason for people requesting it quite a lot, because that's always going to be difficult for the artist if they come out defending their performance and then you can prove that they aren't telling the truth. Then yeah, it's not going to be a very good look. But it might be something that I look at relatively soon on the channel, but maybe next week, because yeah, I can't kind of instantly do a video because of everything that I've got going on and all the other videos that take a lot of planning, and it does take a lot of time to plan a video and make sure you prove what you are saying. I guess maybe because it's a lot of work, people just like to say, oh yeah, that was lip synced or mimed, without proving it. But yeah, for me, legally as well, that's a very risky place to be. You want to make sure that everyone is absolutely sure, you can be sure and show people that the particular performance was lip synced or mimed or whatever you claim it to be. So yeah, a lot of controversy over that halftime show. But yeah, I'll look at the one that I've been asked to take a look at probably this week, and there's other stuff from older videos that now I've been sent another video of another kind of angle or take of a performance, and people want me to explain that video, even though I've already kind of done a video on the performance. So yeah, I guess this is the thing, when people have questions about things, then it is important to answer those and just categorically be able to state that what I'm saying in my analysis videos is true, and that is the case for all of my analysis videos. What I'm saying is absolutely true, even when people then say, oh yeah, but what about this? And I'm happy to take on theories and then just show why that theory is not correct. So yes, anyway, right, let's now jump into the PayPal window, because it had a little bit of action in there. And this is from Mitch Marie, who says, hi Phil, loved the Jamiroquai analysis video. I'm grateful I discovered them in my youth, but I wonder why they're not big in the US. What is your opinion? Why some artists do well in some geographic regions or not? Thanks, and happy birthday to your great gift giver sister. So thank you for that. And I mean, there are so many reasons why particular bands do well in one country and then not well in another country. And I mean, with Jamiroquai, it's difficult because I think the music is great, and the mix of styles that they have with, like, I guess, acid jazz, funk, but then it was in our mainstream pop charts, so it's not as if it's something that had its own, following that was tiny. And trying to think of why it might not appeal to people that are, into just pop music, I guess. But I mean, they had a song on the soundtrack of a movie, Godzilla was, they had a song which, well, I'm trying to think. I mean, Godzilla was quite a big movie, so they might have got listened to for that. But yeah, so many reasons. If you're talking about musically, it might be something that's a little bit too progressive for people to be able to kind of lock into. But the amount of money that is spent on artists as well, you've got to take that into consideration for labels when they're promoting a particular band or a particular tour or an album, and how much they push it to different markets. It might have been the case that they spent all of their budget for promotion or promotional interviews and all that kind of stuff. They might have just done that all in the UK, and that's why Jamiroquai are very well known here. But then over in the USA, they didn't have the same money to spend. So yeah, it's very difficult. I think on the other side, with JK, who's the lead singer, he had a very public relationship with a presenter who is very well known in the UK as well. So I mean, not that it wasn't something that was done for TV or anything like that, but you know what? I was going to say that what the paparazzi are like, but then also he's had a few run-ins with paparazzi where he's gone to court and been charged because he's been smashing cameras or got in a fight with one of them. And I think it is understandable because I saw footage of one where he's sticking the camera right in his face. So of course he kind of pushes it out, smashes the camera, and whether that's then seen as damage, and then you have to pay for the replacement of the camera for the paparazzi person. Yeah, there's lots of that stuff going on, and then being in a relationship with a famous presenter as well. I think that JK and therefore Jamiroquai got a lot of media attention because of that, and it wasn't something that maybe crossed over to the USA because people weren't interested in who he was dating, and it wasn't really in the papers. It wouldn't have been over there, so that might have got them attention. But I think the music is certainly good enough to just get attention in its own right. But yeah, as to why they weren't huge in the USA, I don't know. That they could have been, because I think the music's great, and it's just something that is a blend of different styles that you don't always get, and you don't always get those kinds of bands that make it into the mainstream charts and do well in the mainstream charts. So yeah, it is great. As a kid, like I said, a teenager, listening to Jamiroquai and having so much in the charts that you could get into, so many different styles, and even having kind of rock bands and hard rock bands, and kind of this groovy, funky, acid jazz that when you're young, you're just listening to music and you're taking it all in. You're not necessarily analysing it and thinking, well, you know, this is an amazing mix of styles that I'm being allowed to listen to. But then, yeah, in 2026, you now think, well, you can see the difference between when I was growing up and what kids are listening to now, how so much of it is the same. Like you'll listen to, you know, the top 10 and you think, well, where is the jazz? You know, where are these different artists and styles? And they're all very much, even you could say that a lot of musical styles that used to be more diverse and have a totally different sound to them, those have now become more mainstream. And I know that's something that the country crowd are, especially, I mean, here we're starting to get into country music a little bit, but when you compare country music from the 60s and the 70s and the 80s and how it's progressed to now, where the country music all starts to fit into the same, I don't know, the same kind of groove, the same kind of sound. A lot of that is to do with tuning vocals as well. Not that I'm going to be talking about that in the live stream, but when you now make everybody's voice the same, then every singer's going to sound the same. Therefore, potentially every song's going to sound the same. So your country song is going to start sounding more like a pop song. And your rock songs are going to start sounding more like pop songs because it's got the same vocal all the time. You're not getting any attitude in the vocal if it's being calibrated to A440. So, yes, but back to I'm just going to skip this advert. Back to Jamiroquai. Just great band. Great live sound as well from that analysis video. Now, last night on the Authentic Vocal channel, I know that probably mentioning Authentic Vocal on my live streams, this is why. We're never going to move on from 519,000 subscribers. But last night was Roger Daltrey that we were looking at over on Authentic Vocal. So, yeah, just showing that it doesn't really matter with some singers just still getting up on stage and singing fully live and fully unedited, not using auto-tune or anything like that. So yeah, that was a great performance to jump into last night. Make sure that you are subscribed over there. Very much swimming against the tide, as this channel probably is now as well. But over on Official Authentic Vocal, that's what it's called on YouTube, if you want to subscribe over there, then we'll try to keep things moving along. I know that a few people are watching the videos over there, so thank you guys for that and for leaving comments as well and hitting the thumbs up. It all hopefully will allow the channel to grow a little bit, even though it's very difficult. But anyway, we are going to be jumping into the PayPal window again. To make sure I can see the screen over here. Cindy donated 70 pence, so thank you for that, Cindy. And the message is, wishing a happy birthday this week to your sister and on Friday the 13th to Teresa Mila. So thank you for that, Cindy, and happy birthday, Teresa, for Friday the 13th. I mean, it sounds a bit ominous, but Friday the 13th, I'm sure. Yeah, there's a movie called that. Now, I'm getting Friday the 13th mixed up with Halloween, because Halloween is the classic one with Jamie Lee Curtis, and I don't know if I've even seen Friday the 13th. All I can see is the poster. It must be a movie that is that. So that's why I said about it, sounding a little bit spooky. Anyway, Cindy donated £30. Thank you for that. And the message was, sorry, PayPal error. Supposed to be £30. Also, thank you for that. And I think that because the last one was 70 pence. But thank you for that, Cindy. Karen's donated £14. Thank you for that. And the message is, greetings from California, Phil. Happy birthday to your sister. I'm cheering on our Olympic skaters. Especially, am I going to be able to get these names right? Leah Malanin, Alisa Liu, and Isabeau Levito. Today, Max Naumauth did a great job, especially after his parents died in the plane crash last January with the military helicopter. So thank you for that. As you could probably tell, I'm not really following the Winter Olympics. I have seen that it's on TV, and I saw that there was, and this is Jeff Scott Soto just on Instagram, one of his posts. He was showing, I think, a US downhill skier woman who was maybe 40 or 41, something like that, and this was her last Olympics, and she was going to do or just, I think she had like an injury the week before, but then she's still trying to do the Olympics, going down there, and unfortunately she fell over, but fell over in quite a dramatic way, and I think she broke her leg and had to have surgery and that kind of thing. So yeah, very disappointing for her and the USA, but yeah, hopefully her leg was okay. But yeah, I guess, and this is the thing, that being kind of 41, I think it was either 40 or 41, yeah, for the Olympics certainly is, getting on. Obviously, younger than me, but and this is the weird thing. When I'm watching football and stuff, I think that this happens when you get older, that you're watching other people, and then you're when they say, oh, and they're, and there's almost like I don't know, a reference to somebody's age, or the fact that they're doing something that really they should be too old to do. So this is why people are saying, oh, it's amazing that somebody at this age can be competing at this level, and that kind of stuff. And yeah, I then realized that, oh, but the person they're talking about is about 7 years younger than I am, especially with football, because they say when somebody gets to age 35 that's quite old for a footballer. So I think, wow, yeah, I think you don't really take it in when you're watching everyone, because I used to play football, watching everyone run about the pitch. You don't really take it in thinking, oh yeah, all of these people are massively younger than I am. But I guess in my mind I think, well, if I started training again, would I be able to run around like I used to? I guess my body would tell me the answer, but I've never tested it. All I've done is kind of a short sprint now and again, and I think, well, the legs still seem to work. But anyway, yeah, thank you for that, Karen. And Laura's donated £10. Thank you for that, Laura. And the message is, we need some hair talk, so thank you for that. Not a lot going on with the hair, apart from these bits that are trying to curl around. So I keep on having to kind of push them out the way. But you might see now, I mean, these are technically fringe bits here. So, yeah, we've had to go. I think we're going to be going more and more as time progresses to this centre parting type deal. And we'll just see what happens. It's a bit experimental at the moment, because I've never let my hair grow. I've always had the fringe then cut. But the annoying thing about that is sometimes when it's short, the fringe just does something really weird. And it can be, really annoying, like getting in your eyes, or, curling all the wrong way. But I think growing the fringe out, it means that it's more it's easier to organise, so it's more reliable, even though I'm sure my hair will prove me wrong in the future. So I've never really had it long in the fringe and then had it styled for a long fringe. So I know that back in COVID times, that's probably the only time that I had a really long fringe, longer than this, and I just did a centre parting and pushed it kind of way out the way, and it did look a bit ridiculous, but that wasn't styled or cut for a long fringe. That was just because nobody could go out because it was COVID. So that's the only other time that I've had a really long fringe, but we'll see what happens. Thank you for that, Laura. And Joe has donated £15. Thank you for that. And the message is, have you heard of true temperament fretboards, where each fret is designed to individual strings in order to achieve true intonation? Have you ever tried one or heard one, And would us mere mortals even tell the difference? So thank you for that. And I haven't actually heard or seen a true temperament or just temperament guitar or fretboard. It would be really interesting though to see one. I might have to look it up and listen to one, because for people that don't know, everything that I refer to in the analysis videos with equal temperament is what pianos are tuned to, like keyboards are tuned to, and by default what auto tune is calibrated to, and pitch correction. If you double click on Melodyne, it will take it to A440 standard pitch, equal temperament. I always make sure that I mention that, so people that maybe know about just temperament kind of can then get their head around what we're looking at on screen. But it means that that particular system, and this is not that I'm going to kind of get into it here because it's 10 to midnight already, but the equal temperament system is a way for every octave to be equal. I mean, it is what it sounds like, but by making everything equal, i.e. the tuning across kind of all keys and all octaves, it means that you're doing away with how sound actually works when we're talking about frequencies. So where the note is tuned is actually ever so slightly off where the note should be, according to just intonation. So yeah, this is why when people talk about or make comments about oh, this person just has, you know, that accurate a voice and, you know, this and that, I try to say to them that but what we're looking at is not where their voice should be falling, and great singers don't always sing on these lines because great singers are singing the perfect frequency for the instrumentation in the background. So when you get things that are kind of moving, it means that the vocalist is hitting a note that is perfect for everything that's going on, which more often than not is not going to be perfectly on A440, just instrumentation, especially when you're talking about stringed instruments, even stringed instruments that are being tuned to equal temperament, because they will drift slightly sharp, slightly flat. So there's so much going on when you're listening to, you know, a great singer, but also the instrumentation in the background where that's actually moving. And yeah, great singers will be able to match that. But it would be interesting to hear this guitar, because I don't know whether I think people would be able to hear the difference. But it might be that they hear the difference because we are now so used to hearing and hitting A440 as our pitch for vocals. You know, it's an industry standard for the vocals to now be in equal temperament. So we get used to where those notes are. So now when you're hearing where the note actually is, maybe people will hear it and think, oh, that sounds like it's a bit off, because you're actually so used to hearing the note that is off that when you hear the actual note, it now sounds potentially a little bit, I don't know, wrong to your ear. But yeah, I don't know. I have to check it out, but it certainly does sound very interesting. So thank you for that, Joe. Now, let me just skip this advert. And right, we are at 324 likes. So if you guys could hit the thumbs up, that would be very much appreciated, because we're going to be having a look at Phil Jam number 303. I think that's correct. And we've got, 13 more people to hit the thumbs up. So we are getting there. We are really close. And let me just, I'm going to have to try and wake up this to see how long tonight's backing track is. It's 6 minutes and 53 seconds. Okay, well, that's not too long. So I think we've got plenty of time to fit that in at the end of the live stream. And yeah, we just need one more person to hit the thumbs up, and then we will be jamming at the end of the live stream. We'll keep an eye on that. And there we go. It's official. We're going to be busting out the guitar a little bit later on. Right, now, what should we do? Maybe the troll corner while I remember this particular comment that somebody did. And yeah, we'll jump into troll corner really quickly, but it's only going to be one, so it'll be quite short. And then we'll get into flipping the coin for tonight's cover video because YouTube's not working tonight. So let's jump into this, and I'll see you guys in a second. And what a stupid intro. We haven't been in troll corner for quite a long time, it seems, because I forget about that silly intro and the silly voice that I did for it. Right, now getting into this particular comment, I can't read it, but I know the kind of thing it said. It was, when I released a video, I think it was probably maybe the first comment, or certainly it was part of the very early comments. Sometimes people just comment first because they try to do it like a race. But this particular person said something like, "Oh my God, you're literally a one-trick pony, releasing the same video over and over again. And why don't you do something different?" Or something along those lines. So and ironically, this was the Jamiroquai video that I was releasing, which I think the analysis video is 25 minutes. It might be a little bit less than that because we're looking at a lot of information and also kind of appreciating the performance. So this person, they left their comment on the video when they absolutely guaranteed had not watched any of the video. So they made, and the reason that I said it was ironic is because they're, I think, assuming that I'm just doing the same thing in every video. Like, "Oh, hi guys, welcome to another analysis video. Oh, this is mimed or lip synced." And that's it. And then the next video, "Oh, hi guys. Oh, this is mimed or lip synced." And they think that I'm doing that in every single video. And yeah, I did leave a reply to them saying that if by a one trick pony, yeah, I don't know why I'm struggling to remember what that saying is. I guess because I never say it. But if you're saying that doing an analysis on a requested video for each video and the outcome being whatever I'm looking at, i.e. it's going to be unique to that performance, then yeah, what I do is absolutely a one-trick pony because what I'm doing is potentially open-ended. It could be any result in the end. Like with Jamiroquai, it's all fully live and it's a live vocal and live backing vocals, live band. So that is actually the exact opposite to, I'm sure, some of the videos that this person commenting had seen, but they don't watch all of the videos. So yeah, for those people that think every video that I do is the same, make sure you're subscribed and that you get notified for each video because they're not all the same. I am pointing out that the bands and artists who are performing fully live so that people can get an idea for those bands and artists like Jamiroquai. If you want to go out and check them out live, which yeah, you can do, they're touring this year, then you know what you're going to get. It's just about being transparent with it. And I know that on YouTube a lot of channels are about the drama and about the scandal and all this exposing this or that and this particular singer or band, and you've got a lot of channels that go on that angle, like I said with this halftime thing, where people are just throwing out videos saying about lip syncing or miming, and they're not proving what they're saying. They're just throwing out wild accusations, because that's what it is, really. If you can't prove it, it's an accusation, and it's your opinion. It doesn't mean that it's true. So yeah, but it's kind of scandalous, and that people jump on that bandwagon. Whereas what I'm doing on the channel, it's never a scandal, and it's never a witch hunt. It's just analysing a performance and saying what is happening. And however people react to that, whatever people think about that, that's up to them. But yeah, what I'm doing on the channel is just an objective analysis video. So anyway, yeah, this person who'd left the comment, somebody did say, oh, this has got to make it into Troll Corner, and this is one particular comment that has made it into Troll Corner. So we might have people now in the comment section looking for troll comments to maybe, I don't know, suggest them or nominate them for Troll Corner in the live streams. But it's just interesting that this person left their comment and they hadn't even watched the video, so they didn't know if what they were saying was correct or not, but they made that comment anyway. And I think other people said, you know, kind of left replies saying, yeah, it's clear what you are. And what they were or are is on the screen here with Mr. Troll in the corner. So there we go. That's Troll Corner for tonight. And let's get out of here. And I'll see you guys in a second again. Rock! Right, now we're going to flip the coin for tonight's cover video. This is the first time ever that this has happened. We're flipping a coin rather than having a vote. So, what should we say? Like heads, or tails. Right, let's say heads is miles away. Behind blue eyes is tails. I'm going to flick this onto my desk and it's upside down. The printing's not very clear, but it's tails. So that's going to be behind blue eyes, which fate has decided is going to be the cover video for tonight. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and then we're going to be jumping into the Fill Jam after this. So I will see you guys then. Rock!
No one knows what it's like to be the bad man, to be the sad man behind blue eyes. No one knows what it's like to be hated, to be fated, to telling only lies. But my dreams, they aren't as empty as my conscience seems to be. I have hours only lonely. My love is vengeance, it's never free. What it's like to feel these feelings like I do, and I blame you. No one bites back as hard on their anger. None of my pain or woe can show through. But my dreams,
And there we have it. That was my version of the Who classic Behind Blue Eyes. Now let me get everything out of the way. I've got a coin on the keyboard and echoing going on out the speakers. Advert that's now trying to get involved. Let me skip that. Right, I'll tell you what, let me just quickly go over here. So we have had another donation. Let me see where we are. Where did we get up to? Totoro Porco. Elaine's donated $5 and says, can we see the back of your hair? The back of my hair or the back of my head? I don't know. Can you see it? I go round. I don't know how far I turn. I can't really see. I can look at myself in my Wings of Pegasus thing. There's a mirror there, a little thing. So I've never done that before. So there we go. That's what the back of my head looks like. And the hairdresser always says, "Oh, I've layered the back of your not head, but the hair. So I've layered it all at the back." So and she shows the back, with the mirror, and I think, oh yeah, that looks cool. But I never really, like everyone, never really see the back of your head, so you don't know what's going on. So there we go. I don't know whether it might be the case that the back looks better than the front. It probably is, because the back is just kind of randomly messed up wherever it falls. So anyway, there we go. That was the back of my head as requested. Right. Angela has donated $10 as well. Oh, I could have been watching it on the delayed part of the stream, because there's about 20 seconds delay here. I could have looked at the back of my head on screen, but I missed myself turning around. Anyway, Angela donated $10 and says, "Despite the likes, everyone, if you want to hear Phil play some awesome guitar." Well, I hope so. I hope it's okay. Now that's going to get in the way, so let's get rid of this. So we do have the gem out tonight. So these strings could well snap, in which case it's a Floyd Rose bridge, so it means all the strings go out of tune and it'd be an absolute nightmare. So we will see what happens here. Right, let me grab that with my feet. Right, this is metal ballad backing track in E minor and E harmonic minor, and this is coming from Q Jam Tracks, and that's all one word, so like Q and then Jam Tracks. So if you want to check out this particular backing track, and full disclosure, again, I'm listening to this out of a laptop, so sometimes it's not particularly clear to hear, so we'll give it a go and see what we can see or hear. Oh, zoom! Oh, where's the red dude? There he is. Bit more volume. Oh, a little bit cleaner here. checking. Can you hear this? don't know how long we've been going on for, but it seems like quite a while.
Dear Molly, as per my previous email.
And that's an advert! Oh, that reminded me of an intro that I did. What did I do that for? Was it In at the Deep End? Where I did that exact same thing. So anyway, yeah, that was obviously an impromptu ending for tonight's Fill Jam, which was Metal Ballad backing track in E minor and E harmonic minor. And that's from Q Jam Tracks. If you guys want to check that out yourselves. And yes, okay. Right, I think that's all done there. So thank you, Joe, for sending that my way. And yeah, it's always a bit tricky when we're then having to fade out, because you can't really fade out a guitar. We just have to do what we can. But that was that. So right, hang on, we've got, I think, another donation in the super chat window. So thank you for this. And it is Granite Man 62 who's donated $2. So thank you for that. And the message is your thoughts on Great Lenny Bro. So yes. Now, when was my video on Lenny? This must have been years ago. But obviously it's going to be something that's probably one of the analysis videos, maybe busting out the guitar and just breaking down a few of the things that, you know, Lenny did. One, obviously, not really my kind of style, you know, kind of jazz and country and that kind of stuff. So I don't know whether I would have busted out the guitar or not. But it might actually be, let me just skip this advert that's trying to get involved. It might actually be the case that it's one of those videos that's so old that a lot of them, I say a lot of them, but some of them have been blocked on copyrights, and some that I've done kind of years and years and years and years ago for whatever reason. I think it might be AI that they're using to try and either look at footage in videos or try and tag the audio in videos, and then kind of blocking videos. So, I mean, Lenny was on my channel somewhere, or should be on my channel somewhere, so you can watch that analysis video if you want to. But I think, yeah. Oh, Cindy, look at this. Video was October the 8th, 2018. So yeah, that's definitely quite a while ago. But this is why I think, wow, it's been such a long time since I was looking at Lenny. But yeah, just, I mean, a great player. Not really my style, and you know, like finger style, and I don't play a lot of jazz. But with those kinds of players, I mean, there aren't a lot of players like that. That's why Lenny stands out. But when you're looking at a great player with great technique and great style, great stylistic choices, then as a musician and a guitarist, you can only kind of admire that. And that's very much with the analysis videos when I'm looking at performances where it might not be a style that I particularly play, but you got to kind of appreciate the technique, because when you're talking about, yeah, like what I just done in the fill jam there is the exact opposite. It's not something that is going to be, you know, totally clean, you know, no distortion, and you know, obviously, like playing electric guitar as well. It's not going to be this. Like when you've got somebody who's playing classical guitar, acoustic guitar, there's nowhere to hide there. So it means that you get such a great appreciation of a guitarist's ability, their technical ability. But anyway. Yeah, thank you for that donation. And Granite Man 62 just donated again, saying $2. So thank you for that again. The message is influence friends, Randy Bachman, Neil Young. So yeah, exactly. That's something that great artists will do. I mean, you can say great kind of guitarists, great players, but when you're kind of rolling it all into one, just seeing them as a great artist, it has that inspiration that will run through the whole industry, but also people that are wanting to do it themselves. They will be inspired by people, and you get a lot of, you know, very well-known artists who are inspired by somebody, or were inspired by somebody who isn't actually particularly well known, but to the person who is now well known themselves, being influenced by that artist, you know, there would be a massive fan of, you know, Lenny in the example here. But having that, I don't know, it's something that is so rare. There are loads of artists, guitarists who are amazing and aren't the biggest names in the world, but then just look at their technique and ability on the fretboard, and often they're then missed out of these kind of mainstream top 100 players and all that, especially, by the way, country players. That a lot of them seem to get missed out on these lists because they'll name some guitarist who actually might not be particularly technically that good, but they were quite popular at a particular time, so then they kind of get on the list for being popular rather than breaking it down to technique. But anyway, we could talk about that for years, but thank you for those donations. And like I said, there are loads of kind of unsung heroes that aren't particularly well known, but they just absolutely would melt your face on the guitar, regardless of the guitar that they're playing. Like, some players, like Lenny, would be able to melt your face on an acoustic guitar, classical guitar. And I've always thought that if you were to take those kinds of players and put them through, a bit of distortion and whatever you want to put them through, it's only going to embellish their sound, and they'd be able to play in other heavier genres because the technique is the fundamental thing that they've got. Obviously they'll be playing different notes, making different stylistic choices, but once the technique's there, that's it. It's like great vocalists. Somebody with a great voice can sing in any genre, any kind of song, and very much the same for great guitar players, but especially country players that just kind of got top level technique. But anyway, thank you for that donation. We are going to be calling things to a close now, so thank you guys for tuning in. And Granite Man has donated again, $2. Is Andrew Gold, great musician, so thank you as well. But we're going to have to call things to a close because the moderators I always say to them that we finish at midnight, and here it's quite late in the UK, so we'll run a little bit over tonight. But thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to be here with another video tomorrow night, so look out for that. I'm going to be live streaming on Saturday night as well, 11 PM Greenwich Mean Time. So all that's left for me to say is try to stay as safe and as sane as possible in this crazy world in which we live. Have a fantastic rest of your week, and I will catch you guys at the next one. Rock!